And this smoke, it really makes it rough on us.
His property is safe, but his health may not be. We'll hear from a man living near the wildfires in southern Kentucky and what he had to say after learning the fire near his home was intentionally set.
If it wasn't for them, my mom and dad wouldn't be here today.
Two strangers passing by help a Scott County couple escape their burning home. And just wait until you see the one thing the veteran was able to save from the flames.
And he sounded convincing, a Central Kentucky sheriff's deputy asking a woman to pay her fines. Now she's out thousands, and the sheriff is warning others not to fall victim.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening to you. A dire situation across much of southern and eastern Kentucky. Wildfires continue to burn and no significant rain is expected in the next few days.
Some members of the National Guard are spending Veterans Day in the air above the fires, dropping water from Black Hawk helicopters. The Southeastern District of the Kentucky Division of Forestry is working 21 uncontrolled fires right now. Statewide, more than 30,000 acres have burned.
The Gatliff fire in Whitley County is more than 1,200 acres right now. Thick smoke blankets that area, making it tough for people with health problems to breathe. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is on the fire watch in our top story at 5:30.
I'm gonna climb on that nose.
Firefighters were ready to hit the hill after someone set fires just up from Gatliff Road in Whitley County.
These idiots around here, they'll do anything just to have something to do.
James Durham isn't so much worried about the fires damaging his home, but what the smoke is doing to his family's health.
I got COPD. My wife, she don't have very much of her lungs left. And this smoke, it really makes it rough on us.
State forestry officials say as of this morning, there were about 21 uncontrolled fires burning nearly 17,000 acres of woodlands.
What they're doing, they're raking indirect hand line, and they're also able to use the Black Hawk helicopters that we have from the National Guard.
Firefighters on the ground getting help on Veterans Day from the military in the air. But forestry officials just wish the weather would also lend them a hand.
Right now, going into this weekend, our humidities are going to be below 30%. That is critically dry, and we're already in an extreme drought here in Kentucky.
Little rain, wind, and a dry ground with fallen leaves all adding to fuel to help the fire spread. In Whitley County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Garrett County issued a burn ban today that now makes 69 counties with burn bans, including nearly all of southern and eastern Kentucky. If you are heading to the Red River Gorge this weekend, there are some restrictions because of the wildfires. No one is allowed on Tunnel Ridge Road. A woodland fire is still actively burning more than 300 acres there. Campfires are banned right now in the Daniel Boone National Forest. U.S. forestry workers say they are working 6 active fires. The woodland fire in Powell County and the steel trap fire in Leslie County are 2 of the largest.
And this is not good news. No rain is expected for the most part this weekend. We'll be waking up to pretty cold weather with a hard freeze. WKYT's Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is in the First Alert Weather Center. Chris, will the freeze help the fire threat?
You know, I can't imagine it's really going to help a whole lot because, guys, we're ushering in, believe it or not, even drier air heading into the next couple of days. You heard in the story there, humidity levels are going to come down, and they're going to come way down anytime you're talking about temperatures in the 20s. Cold high pressure across the Great Lakes. That cold front is now right on top of the area. The chillier air and then the downright cold air is lurking just to the north of the Ohio River. Everybody into the 50s this afternoon for the most part, and as we go through the evening, it's a quick drop in your thermometer. We look ahead to a hard freeze for the weekend, mainly clear skies, and I do have some changes that start to show up into next week as we actually see a shower chance or 2 in the 7-day forecast. We'll run that down when I come back in just a few minutes, guys.
A Vietnam War veteran and his wife lost nearly everything they owned today after their home burned to the ground.
But with the help of people passing by, the Scott County couple made it out alive. The home on Ironworks Pike is a total loss. But as WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain tells us, the veteran was able to save one prized possession.
I owe them everything. I mean, if it wasn't for them, my mom and dad wouldn't be here today.
Lydia Cassidy says her parents, Rush and Melanie, have been married for nearly 50 years.
They lived in this house for 30 years. We built this house.
The house they built is now gone after an overnight fire. Two men driving by stopped to help the couple after seeing the flames.
One helped my mom get over to the neighbors, and then the other one helped my dad. And by the time they got in, the back doors had done imploded in. Everything was popping and cracking, and the whole back of the house was engulfed in flames.
They said it burned so quick, like within minutes it was done.
So many memories are gone. You know, some stuff cannot be replaced.
Rush tells me one of the few possessions he has after this fire is this American flag, which he was able to save during the fire.
The fact that it's still there and it's waving now, it's helpful. I wish I had a little taller pole to keep it off the ground.
Well, your Air Force flag made it.
Rush is a Vietnam veteran.
I've seen some destruction, but nothing up this close and personal.
Today, this veteran stands in shock after losing his home, but he's grateful for the support of the two men who served him on this Veterans Day. In Scott County,
We'll make do.
Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Well, that's very sad today. Firefighters say it will likely be next week before all of the hot spots are out and they can begin their investigation into what sparked that fire.
A woman is out $4,000 after falling for a scam. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Franklin County. The sheriff says the woman received a call earlier this week from someone posing as a deputy. The scammer told the woman she would be arrested for outstanding fines if she didn't pay over the phone.
We don't call people and say, hey, you have a warrant. We come and we show up. They're targeting, I think, are more elderly or older citizens, and they put pressure. They try to keep you on the phone, and he's very convincing.
The sheriff's department says they found out about this specific scam after the victim showed up at the office to sign some paperwork. In Pike County, state police are investigating a deadly crash. It happened yesterday on US 119 in the Belfry community. Police say a woman lost control of her SUV. It ran off the road and hit a tree. A passenger in the SUV, 70-year-old Terry May, died from his injuries. Police say he was not wearing a seatbelt.
Across the nation today, people are paying tribute to military veterans for their service to our great country. At Eastern Kentucky University, volunteers took part in the national roll call, reading the names of every military member killed since the September 11th terrorist attacks.
Having served in Afghanistan with people that have fallen in combat, it's really an honor to participate in this event, to read their names, and then also to meet the veterans that come forward that want to volunteer to read. It's an honor to meet those guys as well.
EKU is home to more than 1,500 military affiliated students.
Have you ever wondered why someone becomes a con man or how they can rationalize that behavior? This next story will give you a unique perspective as one man explains how he exploited the mail stream to steal the identities of innocent consumers, but he's also turned his life around to try to help other people.
I was a full-fledged meth addict for about 16 years.
Dallas says this drug addiction cost him almost $1,000 a week, so he turned to a life of crime.
We went around to the richer neighborhoods and we stole the United States postal mail out of the mailbox, gathering information, gathering intelligence.
Specifically, personal checks.
The flag up indicated that there was outgoing mail, which is usually a check to pay a phone bill, a check to pay the electricity, a check to pay a car payment.
Those checks hold a wealth of personal information.
You have access, a welcome to their bank account, which you could alter the numbers on it. You could reprint your own checks.
They would have their friends open up accounts and then have them deposit checks to those accounts, withdraw as much money as they could the first or second day until the bank caught on to the fraud.
They also learned how to exploit depositing checks from your smartphone.
The thing about using a smartphone, you don't need magnetic ink to be able to go into a bank and cash it. You just use everything from your smartphone and be able to deposit it right there sitting at your home without ever stepping foot in a bank. 1,000
victims lost more than $70,000. Dallas admits his drug problem helped him justify his actions. He felt the banks were the only victims.
They were going to report it as fraud. They were never going to lose no money and everything. At the end of the day, everybody's happy. I get my money. They don't lose nothing.
Postal inspectors say this is not true. ID theft can take consumers years to clean up. And in the meantime, your credit is in limbo. Prevention is key.
Preferably use collection boxes at a post office.
Once caught, Dallas admitted to his crimes, went to prison, and has been clean for 3 years.
If I didn't commit those crimes, I would have been out there still using methamphetamines. I don't know if I would be dead. I don't know what kind of life I would be living right now, but by me going to prison, it saved my life.
Dallas served more than 4 years in prison for ID theft and mail fraud charges. He's in the process of paying the $70,000 in restitution he owes the victims in this case.
Some students at the University of Kentucky march on campus in 5 minutes on WKYT News at 5:30 why they're upset with UK administration.
I'm in Lexington where a donation jar meant for a shooting victim was stolen last night. Coming up at 6, we'll show you surveillance video of the men responsible.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
President-elect Donald Trump responding to protests over his election.
And Governor Bevin responding to Trump's win. Bill Bryant has the bottom line.
Good evening. President-elect Donald Trump is now sounding a conciliatory note on the protesters who've been demonstrating against him over the last couple of days. As protesters took to the streets of cities around America, including Louisville last night, Trump denounced them in a tweet. He called them professional protesters incited by the media. But this morning, the president-elect tweeted again, saying small groups of protesters are showing that they have a great passion for our country. He added, "We will come together and be proud." Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin calls this the happiest time of his political life. He says America has a chance to get back on track under a Trump presidency and Republican control of Congress and the Kentucky legislature. On a taping for this weekend's Kentucky Newsmakers at WKYT, he says he hopes Trump will start by cutting some government regulations, but he acknowledges there are some unknowns.
Well, again, I haven't heard his whole agenda. I don't know that anyone has, to be honest with you. He has shared some things. I like some of what I hear. Some of what I hear concerns me. There's never been a perfect candidate. I don't find him to be a perfect candidate. He was not my first choice. But I have unabashedly supported him in this general election, and I've done it because he offers America the best opportunity.
The entire interview with Governor Bevin airs on Kentucky Newsmakers Sunday morning at 6 on WKYT, and it repeats Sunday at 10 a.m. on the CW Lexington. Political leaders around America paused for Veterans Day. President Obama laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldiers at Arlington National Cemetery. Locally, Congressman Andy Barr attended an event at Veterans Park in Lexington. We're covering the change of power on WKYT.com, where you can also look over the election results at your leisure over the weekend. And follow me on Twitter at KY Newsmakers for political updates and observations. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Some students at UK protested today against the university on its decision not to release documents of a sexual assault investigation involving one of its professors. 3 months ago, the student newspaper, the Kentucky Colonel, filed an open records request from the school for documents affiliated with the case. The school refused. The paper appealed to the Kentucky Attorney General. A lawsuit is now pending over the school's refusal. Protesters say this fight is much bigger than the University of Kentucky.
That could set a precedent across the state of Kentucky and possibly across the United States that would help universities protect abusers rather than protecting their students and victims of sexual assault.
UK has said they are denying the open records request to protect the identity of the victims who report to the university.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Really good looking sky out there across central and eastern Kentucky right now. Some clouds are streaming on in just ahead of a push of even colder air blowing into town for the weekend. Let's look at that live sky cam. Aimed toward the western horizon and a gorgeous sunset just moments ago. Right now, a little bit of overcast conditions and some stars that will be shining very, very soon. Winds are gusting right now, 18 miles per hour, sustained winds up into northern Kentucky. We're at 13 into Frankfort and Lexington. Gusts today have been 20 to 25 miles per hour as expected. And that colder wind is coming at us from north to south right now. So the numbers over the next 2 or 3 hours are going to drop quickly. We're going to be talking about some low and mid 40s by the time the middle of the evening wears on. And late evening, a few upper 30s will show up between 11 and midnight for you folks who are heading out for a late night on the town. You see that chillier air coming in from the Great Lakes and diving in from north to south. A little bit of cloud cover that is out there across the Ohio Valley. That push of chilly air is right on top of I-70, and it is loaded up and headed toward the south as of now. So we break down the forecast for the next 3 days. Starts with a freeze tomorrow, light freeze, chilly afternoon, plenty of sunshine. Going to look really good on Sunday. Hard freeze in the morning, mid-20s, breezy into the afternoon. Mostly cloudy skies on Monday. There is a chance that southern and southeastern Kentucky can squeeze out a shower as early as Monday. Cold weekend setup across the Bluegrass State. It's a seasonal brand of cold. I'm not talking about true heart of wintertime stuff here at all. High pressure on top of the Great Lakes, northeasterly flow, allowing those temperatures to take a tumble. Hour by hour, let's break it down. Watch that number drop between 7 and 11 with some upper 30s that'll show up. Cynthiana to Maysville early tomorrow morning at or below freezing into much of the area. Tomorrow afternoon, it's upper 40s to low 50s, and then a quick drop in thermometers with dry air in place by 11 on your Saturday evening. Low 30s are showing up. Into Sunday morning, hello freeze with a lot of 20s, and by Sunday afternoon, it's a mix of sun and some high clouds. Overall, a very nice November day with temperatures mid to upper 60s. 7-day forecast will introduce a shower chance as early as Monday. Another chance Tuesday and Wednesday. Not the greatest chances in the world, but guys, at this point, we'll take a chance. Into next week, likely to see a surge of some milder air, and then a big storm system will introduce maybe a taste of winter next weekend.
I guess I'm kind of glad that we're not tailgating tomorrow during the day with that 49.
And with the gusty wind, it'll feel colder than that.
Absolutely. Chris, thank you.
Move on to Officer Don, but we do have an accident report on, well, there it is.
Tate's Creek looks like Tate's Creek Road there near New Circle Road looks like an accident right now. So there's only one out there on Friday afternoon. We're doing pretty good.
Well, it took two of us to take Don's place. All right, let's head back live now to Rob Bromley in Rupp Arena. Hi, Rob.
Hello, Sam, and we have two openers tonight. The women play Memorial Coliseum, and Cal's team plays right here in Rupp. And John Calipari expected to play a lot of people here this evening. He has all kinds of lineups he can go with. That's next from Rupp on WKYT. Stay with us. And welcome back to the floor of Rupp Arena, everybody. Season opener here tonight as the Wildcats take on Stephen F. Austin. And one thing I think is pretty certain this season, the Wildcats should have an inside presence. Just think what it'd be like out there facing Bam Adebayo and Isaac Humphries together. It would be pretty intimidating.
I think so. Definitely. I mean, I would be intimidated if I walked out and saw myself and Bam.
Adebayo goes 6'10", Humphries 7 feet. Humphries says he can play the 4 spot, so they could form a twin towers.
I think we look very tall, but I think the way we play also is intimidating. Bam's really energetic and super aggressive. He's very strong. So, I mean, between the both of us, I think that size is going to be really important.
John Calipari has all kinds of possible combinations on the court. And he's going in figuring he'll play a lot of people.
I probably am going to play 9 guys and then go deeper if I need to. Maybe 8 guys and then go deeper if I need to. But I think it's going to be game to game.
Cal said Thursday he's talked to his big guys about playing time in the early season.
I mean, when you talk Isaac and Sasha, they both deserve to play. Maybe there's a game where Isaac is better than Sasha is. Maybe there's another game where Sasha's better in the game because of the opponent than he is. So, and the same with Wenyan at a 4 or a 3 and Derek at a 4 or a 3. You can't let the first 2 or 3 games, how many minutes I give you or who shoots more or who, it doesn't matter right now. You're getting better, stay on that path.
And the opening tip to the new season now just a little over an hour away. It is set for 7 o'clock, the game televised on the SEC Network. And coming up tomorrow, our look at this upcoming season, UK basketball, the main event that will come your way at 8 o'clock right here on your home for UK sports, WKYT. Now, the UK women's team tips it off at the exact same time tonight, 7 o'clock, against Miami over at Memorial Coliseum. Matthew Mitchell has had to go out and rebuild his roster since last year, and his team goes into the season ranked number 19 in the country. In Miami, the Cats have a challenge on their hands. This is an NCAA tournament team last season. Yesterday, Mitchell called it his toughest opener in a while.
They'll test us in every way. They have great presence in the paint. They have guards that can break you down, can get to the rim, mid-range jump shooters. They can make threes. So I mean, it'll be a tremendous test.
And we are going to hear more from Matthew Mitchell coming up at 6 o'clock. We'll also have Cal talking about Derek Willis and his improvement. Stay with us now as we continue on WKYT.